You're watching a video by Tick. Who the hell do you think he is?
So I just caught up with the Sony conference. I saw a good chunk of it, but I got too tired and decided to go to bed, so I missed the last major game reveal and the pricing and all that stuff, but I learned about the price and such. So here's my thoughts on the Sony conference. First most, I'm going to talk about the pre-conference thing. They were talking about PlayStation 4. They said it's a gaming platform. Yes! You understand what Microsoft doesn't. We don't want a console to watch the TV. We want a console to play games. Then he says it's not about the hardcore audience, it's not about people in clans. Thank you! Because, yeah, sure, esports is on the rise, but that doesn't mean that we're all suddenly hardcore gamers. I mean, I consider myself a bit of a casual gamer. Then the actual conference. At the beginning of the intro, what the hell? I am awfully confused with how it ended up. But then it kind of got a bit better. Sony was definitely much louder in its kind of stuff. It had a much grander opening. Because there was, they said that they had a lot of momentum and excitement and a lot of questions. I'll get on to the question things at the end. They showcased a bit of The Last of Us. I have absolutely no comment. They showcased Puppeteer. Once again, no comment. They showed the game, and all I'm thinking was this by the guys that made Ico? Because it looks interesting as all hell. Like, I was wondering what was going on, but my gripe was they didn't tell me anything. They then showcased Beyond. It had a interesting initial story, but to me, apparently it was made by the same people that made Heavy Rain, so maybe I got this wrong, but it just seems like a female version of Splinter Cell. Then they showed Gran Turismo 6. I am not very big on racing games, as I said in my Xbox rant. I got no comment. The cars do look less detailed than Forza's. However, it's consistent. Whereas Forza had stuff where it looked like really good, and then it's like, eh. This one, it's kind of like, that's alright. The entire way through. Then they showcased the new Batman game. And I'm going to say this right now. Roger Craig Smith and Troy Baker do a really good job. Very well done. And it's interesting, but my major gripe, well, not really major gripe, but one of my gripes is that Batman, I know it's probably because I've heard the voice actor so much, but Batman sounds a lot like Chris. He sounds a lot like Chris Redfield, and that might just be because it's the same voice actor. I don't know. They kept showing these big line of games, and at one point I was just starting to complain. Give me Dark Cloud HD. It's like one of the center things. Just give me it. I want Dark Cloud HD. I love that game. Give me Dark Cloud HD. But they never did. Then they truly revealed the PlayStation 4. It was surprisingly sleek and thin. It's smaller than the Xbox One. And I personally really freaking like the look. Although I have to wonder why the entire sensor's kind of got like a gap in it. I don't know the reasoning behind it, and they don't really demonstrate where the disk drive is. Then they started talking about TV stuff. Okay, the obligatory, you're gonna have to, because now it's also some form of media platform. I feel that they were close to dwelling too long on TV and games and such. They were so close to fucking it all up. And then they started talking about social media. I was getting worried here, but they actually only dwelled on it for like 5 minutes, and then they showed something called The Order. I love me some steampunk. I fucking love me some steampunk. And the fact that they have a game based upon it. Oh my god. Why? I will say, in fact, no, I'll sum that up later. They then showed a driving game. I wasn't able to catch it. I got nothing to say about it. They showed the new Infamous. I enjoyed the first one, and I do think the transition from lightning to fire is an interesting. It's got a couple of new mechanics. However, it didn't really show the moral choice system. And that was one of the big things with Infamous for me. You had a moral choice that affected your abilities. It might still have it, but as it stands, they didn't show it. This one seems a lot more upbeat and more camp, whereas its Infamous 1 and 2 was always dark and gritty. I don't know how I feel about the direction with that. They then showed the game Knack. Very interesting concept, but give me some showcasing information. They then showed a tech demo of the Dark Sorcerer. It looks really good. But I'm a big fan of tech demos. I only care about games I can play, not what the technology can do. I will say this early. The comedy was pretty good. Although the goblin kind of looked pretty bad, I guess, compared to everything else. They then showed Transistor. Okay, seriously guys. Why is the character so small? You are just... My TV is clear across the other side of my room. It's a 21-inch. So basically, the size of the character is about the size I was watching it on my TV monitor, because I didn't have it ballooned out so I could talk to people in the chat. I struggle to see that character. Please don't force that on us. They mentioned that indie devs can self-publish content. Yes! That is one of the things that you have over Microsoft. You can self-publish your stuff. They showcased a couple of indie games. Yeah, they were just brushing through most of them. One of them that was kind of funny is the Octodad one, because they referenced the 2006 giant enemy crab. They said, and despite being of historical significance, there are no giant enemy crabs. That was funny. They mentioned Diablo 3, I didn't care much. They then showcased Final Fantasy Versus 13. And I'm just wondering, people just care about... Do people really care about that still? I mean, it took them 6-7 years. Very cyberpunk, I guess the word is. And the game quality seems a lot better than Final Fantasy 13, even though it is a hack and slash. And it had a really nice twist that resparked my interest. Mainly the fact that it's actually Final Fantasy 15. I had a feeling it was going to be that, but whatever. Then they advertised Kingdom Hearts 3. It's about fucking time. That's all I gotta say about that. They showed the new Assassin's Creed demo. Now, Brotherhood killed the Assassin's Creed franchise for me. This one's resparked it a little bit. The ship combat is pretty damn cool, although, as a person that loves me my historical significance with military things, they turn way too fucking fast. I mean, back then, ships could turn fast, but they couldn't turn on a dime like that. And one thing that was funny is I kept freezing until eventually they had to quietly end the demo. They then showcased some more playthrough of Watch Dogs, definitely selling me on it. And then, okay, I went to bed around this point. But when I came back, I found out the price and on it and its questions. To begin with, there are no used game restrictions, and there's no always online. Even without it announcing the price already, so I don't know about the price yet. That to me has made the PlayStation 4 just absolutely win it. And then the price came out. We all know when the PlayStation 3 came out, it was $599 US. In this one, it is $399 and 329 quid in Europe. I'm startled at such a low price. It is £100 cheaper than the Xbox One. Although I will say this, I am still pissed that it is £90 more expensive over here. Guys, get your act together here, okay? I understand that you're shafting Europe and such. Why are you shafting us and Europe here? I understand that the cost is probably different, but it is meant to be cheaper over here. Regardless, I think that PlayStation 4 has outright won it. I might watch Nintendo Direct and see what they have to say. But I got a friend who's a really big fan of Nintendo, and he'll probably tell me. I'm also really irritated that I haven't had anything really to rant about the PlayStation 4. The only things I've been able to rant about is Transistor and the pricing. This was a really good conference. And Sony have put themselves in an amazingly strong position. I know I'm sounding fanboy about it, but maybe it's my old love from the fact that I got a PlayStation 1 instead of a Nintendo 64 or a Sega Saturn, and a PlayStation 2 instead of a Xbox, GameCube, or, well, I did have a Dreamcast, but that was a hand-me-down. But I actually feel that currently Sony is going to win this console generation. It has such a strong lineup. It has a good price point. It's not restricting us like the Xbox One. Oh, that reminds me. One thing that I was going to say. One thing as well that pissed me off about the conference. They showed these games, but they didn't explain anything about them. It's just like, trailer, next, trailer, next, trailer, next. Okay, here's a new game, trailer, next. I freaking want information about these games, especially The Order. Okay, The Order, literally, I mean, okay. I've said before that I only get a game if its value, equals a game that the game console. If it's $329, that means that I need to have 6 games on there that might buy it for me. And you know what? Let me see here. Give me a second. Okay. They showcased Killzone. Oh yeah, I didn't mention that. I lost interest after Killzone 2, so I hope it's a prequel because Killzone 3 had closure. Okay, The Order is definitely one that's got me sold. Versus 13 or 15 definitely has my interest. Kingdom Hearts 3 has my interest. Watch Dogs has my interest, and the new Assassin's Creed also has my interest. That is 5 games. It just needs one more game to interest me. Just one more, and I will get a PlayStation 4, or I will definitely consider it an option. The Xbox One has like 2 games. And the Xbox One needs to basically sell. I mean, I'm going off the basis that the games are going to be like £60 when they come out here. So they need to have 8 games. And so far only 2 of them exist. The Nintendo Wii U, I forgot what the price is, but I'm pretty sure it's 6 games as well. It's only got 1. So as it stands right now, I might get a PlayStation 4. I might even get it as early as release. It depends on when those games come out. Because, as I said, 5 games already. You just need 1 more game, Sony, and you've sold me. And I'm honestly baffled myself. I'm wondering how Microsoft's going to come back from this. They are seriously on the backbench here. They've shown some good, strong exclusives, don't get me wrong. But I'm basically comparing Sony and Microsoft here. I'm not comparing the Wii U one yet because Nintendo Direct hasn't happened, but yeah, sure, the Xbox One shows some good, strong exclusives. But so has Sony. Sony has shown some powerful, very powerful exclusives. I mean, it's like comparing The Order to Rise. I think a lot more people, myself included, are more interested in steampunk era than Roman era. So that's already beating it over Rise for me. I definitely think that Microsoft has got a lot to claw back because they've got all these restrictions. The console isn't designed as well, and yet it's £100 more expensive than the PlayStation 4. The PlayStation 4, that console design is sleek as fuck. I really enjoy it, and the fact it's small considering what it's got in it, it's stronger than the Xbox One. And yet the Xbox One's significantly bigger. It's just, wow. I'm hoping to God the PlayStation 4 has no hardware defects, like overheating or something similar to Red Ring, because, as I said, get one more game on there, and I might possibly actually get a PlayStation 4. I'm also really pissed because there's nothing really for me to rant about. This series I decided to make because I tend to rant about a lot of things when it comes to games, and I haven't been able to rant. But I guess I'll catch you guys after the Nintendo Direct, and I'll give you my thoughts there. I won't actively be watching it, but I'll get feedback from one of my friends. See ya.